Herd Hierarchy.
Time is now. Let's go.
The top 10 NFL teams according to Colin. Number 10.
Yeah, Buffalo and Tennessee, not interested. Jacksonville is the 10th best team. Okay, here's a team that has to run the football to be successful, and they've rushed for 100-plus yards just twice in their last 6 games. That's the problem. Now you depend on Blake Bortles and some, young parts in the secondary. They've had some injuries. This team to win has to rush for about 125 to 145 yards. They're not doing it over the last 6 games, so that's the team I get going into the playoffs. Jags number 10.
Number 9.
I'm not in Atlanta like everybody else. The state of Georgia must hate me. It's not that I don't like Atlanta. It's just I don't see the physicality capable of beating a Philadelphia, a Carolina, a Rams, a Minnesota, and a Saints. Over the last 5 games, Matt Ryan's completing 58% of his throws. And has a passer rating of 78. Stop yelling at me. Look in the mirror. Matt Ryan has regressed to the mean.
Number 8.
Philadelphia. I'd like to have him higher. But you can't go from Carson Wentz, the MVP of the league, to Nick Foles and say, yeah, we're good. Now, the defense for Philadelphia has been very, very good over the last couple of games, allowing 8 points a game, 28% conversion on third down, 6 takeaways. So the defense is going to keep them in these playoff games. But in the end, MVP to kind of a backup. It just doesn't work that way. You can't go from the best, most valuable player in the league to a guy that's a backup in the NFL for most teams and say, we're all good here. The defense playing good, but Philadelphia will not last long in the playoffs. 8.
Number 7.
Kansas City is a sneaky 7. I wouldn't be shocked if they went to Foxborough. They're going to beat Tennessee. I wouldn't be shocked if they went to Foxborough and won. They've handed over the play calling to Matt Nagy. He's really good. And Kareem Hunt, last 3 games that he's played for, full games, he's averaged almost 5 yards a carry and 120 yards rushing. So they've got Kareem Hunt back into the offense, which allows Alex Smith, kind of an weak-arm quarterback who doesn't stretch the field, to throw on play action. The play calling's been exceptional. Andy Reid hands it over to a young OC. They are a sneaky good 7.
Number 6.
I think Carolina's underrated. And I've said this all year. They're not as dependent on Cam as the national media sometimes projects. They're very good defensively, and they run the football. Their defense right now is 7th most in the NFL in takeaways. They take the ball away, and they have a pass rush. Now, Cam's one of only 2 quarterbacks that gave the ball back 3 giveaways 4 times. Roller coaster Cam. That's why they won't win a Super Bowl, but I think they have a chance to go into New Orleans, and beat the Saints.
Number 5.
Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, I liked this team a lot more when Ryan Shazier was playing. But since he's left, they give up over 5 yards a carry. And the teams they could play, like a New England or a Kansas City, are really good at running the football. I just don't think they can consistently stop a rushing attack, meaning a Brady is throwing on 3rd and short, play action, manipulating the Steelers' defense. I just don't think they're good enough defensively. Juju Smith-Schuster, for the record, has been a really good replacement for Antonio Brown. Good kid, real happy for him.
Number 4.
Rams, my final 4 teams, I think, are the Super Bowl favorites. This is how I do it every year. When I give you my final herd hierarchy, my final 4, I think, are the 4 best teams that can make the Super Bowl. Rams. Now, 3 of these 4 NFC teams. The Rams feel a year away to me. Jared Goff feels like he still needs more work. But I have my co-MVP as Todd Gurley. He is the best rusher right now in the NFL. 19 TDs, 140 yards per game, leading the NFL. They are tremendous at left tackle, tremendous at running back, very good wide receiver, brilliant head coach. They have a pass rush. About 2 weeks ago, they had the best special teams in football. It's good now, not great. Lost their kicker. Rams 4.
Number 3.
New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees has 11 games this year. I'll give it a passer rating over 100. That's the most in the NFL, but they're really a running team. Now, they've lost their best linebacker, A.J. Klein, and they've lost a safety, Vaccaro. That, to me, is a difference. I don't think they're experienced and good enough to win the Super Bowl because of that defense. That's why I have them at 3.
Number 2.
And Minnesota at 2. Their defense is unbelievable, and they're going to play at home. And yards per game, points per game, third down conversion, Minnesota's defense is outstanding. I said this about 2.5 months ago, 3 months ago. It's the best complete roster in the NFL. It doesn't have a flashy quarterback, but I'll say this about Case Keenum. Over his last 7, 11 TDs, 2 picks. At least he's confident going into the playoffs. He's playing good football. I mean, Nick Foles isn't. I mean, Case Keenum feels good about himself. He's a limited guy, but he feels good, and the defense is unbelievable. The roster's the best in football.
Number 1.
New England. They've won 12 of their last 13. They're unbelievable at home. They have the best quarterback since Aaron Rodgers is hurt and out for the year. They've got Bill Belichick. They've got the number of the Steelers, the team they will get a host potentially in the AFC Championship. And Dion Lewis is the most underrated running back in the league for New England. He can catch, he can run. Dave Wannstedt recruited him at Pittsburgh, my friend Uncle Dave. He's been telling me about him for years. He said, Colin, the guy can do anything. One of the great players I've ever coached. That includes Darrelle Revis, Aaron Donald, New England #1.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.